Ahoy and welcome back to another video. May is now behind us, so it's time to talk about all the games I played this last month. I do this at the end of every month, making a list for myself of all the games I played throughout the year so I can make a good Game of the Year video when that time comes. May was by far the busiest month for new releases that I was interested in this year so far. By my count, there were 6 new releases that came out this month alone. And I played some of 5 of them. The one game I did not get around to playing is Forza Horizon 6, so don't expect to hear anything about that in this video. But I will talk a little bit about my thoughts about Mina the Hollower, Yoshi the Mysterious Book, 007 First Light, Bubsy 4D, and Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I'll have timestamps below to be able to switch to that part of the video if you're interested in a specific game. I'm going to start off with the one I played the least of, because this is the one I started most recently. I played maybe an hour and a half of Mina the Hollower this morning. Mina the Hollower is another game from Yacht Club. They are the makers of Shovel Knight, which Shovel Knight, if you've played it, it's like a, NES-inspired, like Mega Man platformer-y kind of game. Mina the Hollower is their top-down Zelda-y kind of game. First impressions, it is top-down Zelda with a lot of like Souls-like inspirations. There's tough bosses, has some Souls-like mechanics, like when you die, you drop your experience points, you have to go get them back, stuff like that. I'm liking it so far. I think this is a game I've been looking forward to for a long time, and it was delayed. It was supposed to come out on Halloween last year. I'm wearing my Halloween Mario shirt in memory of that. And it's funny because it feels like a Halloween game. It has lots of like dark, very Halloween-y vibes to it. And it's funny just playing this on like a Sunday and a sunny day in May. The vibes don't match the. I feel like I should be playing this like in the fog at night on Halloween. So it would have been nice if the game came out, 7 months ago. But alas, it's here now, and I had a good time with it in the hour and a half I played. I've played through, I guess, technically 2 bosses. It feels like one boss is like a tutorial boss, and then there's like the first real boss that you get like an achievement for beating. It was a challenge for being like the first like real boss. It was a lot harder than I thought, and that's one thing I've heard about this game is it's much more difficult than I guess people were expecting. It really does kind of lean to the Soulsy like difficulty kind of thing. The big mechanic in this game is so you move around and you jump with your, I guess I have to hold the controller so I can remember. You jump with the B button, and you have a jump that goes like imagine like 1 tile's worth of distance. But if you jump and you hold the B button, when you land, you'll actually burrow under the ground because you're a hollower. I guess that's her ability as a hollower. She can dig underground. She's a mouse. And when you dig under the ground, you'll get a limited amount of time to kind of like burrow and be invulnerable to stuff. And you pop out, and you can pop out to evade enemy attacks. You can also pop out to do platforming, because when you pop out, you'll actually go like 2 squares worth of distance. So it mixes in platforming and combat with this digging mechanic. And I'm still getting used to it. I think I'm kind of getting the rhythm of it, being able to use it in combat scenarios to dodge attacks. I'm still not quite like some of the timing is weird with like the platforming. I feel like it'd be pretty precise sometimes to get the full. Like if the gap is 2 squares long, you have to time it out pretty nicely to get that full jump to make it. I think it's a cool idea. You get to pick a starting weapon at the beginning of the game. Your choice is like a whip, a hammer, or it's like some fast swords. I went with the whip, which is basically a Castlevania whip. I feel like I went with that because it has pretty good attack speed, but it's also got really good distance. And I feel like once I heard this game was difficult, I told myself I want to keep some distance from these enemies. And I've been liking the whip so far. Burrowing around and then getting behind people and like hitting them from a distance with the whip is really good. You've also got sub-weapons that you use the X button for. You have a sub-weapon like meter. The first one you get is like a sword, it's like basically a throwing knife, straight range damage. And then later you get an axe that throws in an arc, so you can throw it over things, and it kind of arcs and then lands and then like causes like a spread damage after that. So the sub-weapons have done a good job to like mix up the combat along with the whip I'm using. There's levels. The levels are kind of weird so far. Maybe I don't fully understand the system yet, but so far it feels like you have to level up attack, defense, sub-weapon damage. Like, I feel like you have to level up each of them before you can like level up the next like iteration of a level up. For example, like the first level up is 350 experience. You get 350 experience, I put it into attack, and then the next level up is 350 experience. So I got that, put it in defense, the next level up was 350 experience, so on and so forth. And then after I leveled them up each once, then the next level up was 1,000 experience. So let me get to 1,000 experience, and I was able to do that next tier of level up. So I'm sure there's a way to like ignore that and just do whatever thing you want over and over and over again. I don't know if that's probably not optimal. It probably is best to balance it out. So far, the attack bonuses have been significant and noticeable. Some of the basic enemies that would take like 3 attacks go down to taking 2, or the ones that take 2 go down to taking 1. So it does feel like a significant increase with the level up there. There's collectibles in like trinkets, which so far kind of seem like they act like perks almost. Like at the time, I can have 1 equip at a time. Maybe you can equip more later on. I don't know, but yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying it. It plays like a 2D Zelda game that's a little bit more difficult, which is like kind of up my alley. I love top-down Zelda games, and I like this aesthetic. I like the movement of it so far, and I'm interested to see like how this game's going to challenge me going forward. So far, I think I made it to the first, I guess you call it dungeon, for lack of a better word. I got like the first area that gave me like a cutscene that I'm going to like get a particular item from. So I'm going to call it a dungeon. I got to the first one of those and I stopped. But so far, I'm liking it. Kind of surprised this game was reviewing so well. Not because I didn't think it would do well, but because it's like got like a 93 on OpenCritic, which is the highest rated game of the year, which is awesome. Right up my alley. I'm going to like it, I'm sure. But also I've heard people say it's like difficult and kind of like hard to explore and hard to navigate. So like it's kind of interesting that like that criticism isn't bringing down this thing from the highest reviewed game of the year, which is just kind of a surprising thing for me. I've already had a couple people tell me they're not gelling with it as much as the reviews. So yeah, it's just good for them. I'm excited for Yacht Club. I'm sure the game's going to do well. And I mean, I was going to buy this game day one no matter when it came out. So happy to have it, happy to play more. We'll talk about it more next month. Next game that I played the least of is probably Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I think I probably put 3 hours in this game. This is a Yoshi platformer, and if you played a Yoshi platformer, you probably know Yoshi platformers are like baby's first platformer. But the twist on this one is it's not really like a get to the end of the level platformer. It's more of a like experiment with the level platformer. You're not just working from beginning to end. You're trying to do as many different things on the way to the end as possible. So you're exploring, you're interacting with like the world and like the physics and chemistry system of the game. You're like pushing, trying to do like weird things. Like what if I bring this enemy and I bring them over here to this weird thing and I change the color of this thing, and it makes more sense when you're playing it, but you're doing all these weird interactions with the level to unlock more pages of this encyclopedia, the mysterious book that you're inside of. You're going into his pages and you're like relearning things for him, I guess, or maybe for yourself. I don't know. I can't remember who you're learning these things for. It's a Yoshi game. I don't think the story's super important, but yeah, it's a very charming game. I think it's impossible to die if you get hit by an enemy. You just kind of like and bounce back, and then you keep going. There's no like damage. So like the difficulty comes in the exploration and your like ability to be creative about how to explore these levels. There is no difficulty in the platforming. I haven't had a single jump that was like anything more than maybe a slight flutter jump away. But I've also not played through a level the first time and gotten even half of the things in the level. I think I've played through 6 levels. It's each page is separate into chapters. So the first chapter I think was 6 levels. I played the first chapter, and each time I played one of those levels, I was pretty thorough from beginning to end. And then I got like what seems to be like less than half of the total things every single time. Even the very first level, I sat down like, I'm going to find everything on the first try. I'm a pro gamer. I'm going to do it. And then I played that level, I think 10 times, and it kept like finding new things. And it does a good thing of like, if you found everything that you like, it'll give you hints. And if you found everything through the hints, it'll like give you another hint. So it sends you back in the level and you do that thing and you get another hint. And it basically, it prevents you from getting like stuck without finding the next thing, unless you do find all the things. It'll keep like giving you hints, and you can buy hints with the coins that you get in the levels, which seem pretty liberally placed out there. You get like plenty of coins, and you can buy plenty of hints to keep getting new things. So it's very fun. A very nice, relaxing game. No stakes at all, like the least stakes possible. This is another game that I'm enjoying, and I'll put more time into. But I am going to put it down since Mina came out. I'm going to put my focus into Mina and get through that first. Get back to Yoshi after. Keeping on the Nintendo train, this is the first game that I guess you could say the most recent game you could say I beat this month. It is Pictonico. This is the Nintendo mobile game that came out, I guess, a few days ago now. This is a mobile game WarioWare for the most part. It is literally you play WarioWare micro games, but instead of like wacky drawings or Nintendo characters in the levels, it is the game accesses your phone's photo library, and it like inserts faces and objects from your photo library into the game. Now, you can give it full access to your full library if you choose. You can also pick a subset, and you can make a custom library of pictures that you feel like you want to be, in this app. Personally, I'm kind of at the point where I feel like all my photos, all my data, whatever, it's all being used by anyone and everyone at this point. I just let the app have all the pictures in my phone, and I think the game is more fun if you choose to do that. If you pick a smaller subset of pictures, it'll like repeat them a lot. But if you like just let it have everything, it'll throw like just a bunch of random stuff. Every other mini game, you're getting just another random picture of another random person's face, which I think is probably the best way to play the game. It makes it the funniest, but even still, at the end of the day, you're just playing a WarioWare micro game thing with people's faces. If you buy there's 2 volumes of the game. The first volume is $8, I believe. The second volume is, oh gosh, I'm getting balloons. Second volume is $6. The $8 version comes with 50 micro games. The $6 version comes with 30 micro games. So for $14, you can get a total of 80 micro games, which, I mean, it's nothing crazy. I know for like phone games, people are typically used to not paying for them. I'm not really a mobile gamer, so I don't have that same like disconnect. Like whenever I do decide to pick up a game on my phone, I don't mind putting money into it because I play so few games on my phone that I feel like if I play one every 6 months, putting $8 into it, whatever. So when I put the $8 in, I played through basically 20 levels. It's like 20 series of micro games at different increasing difficulties, and then the last one is like really difficult, really fast, hard to beat, whatever, blah blah. But I beat Pictonico. That being said, after I finished Volume 1, I did not feel the need to go buy Volume 2. I feel like the game is now there. If I'm ever really bored, I just need something to do, and I don't feel like scrolling on my phone. I've been trying to make a conscious effort to scroll less on my phone. I fail every time I try to do this. At least now I have another weapon in my arsenal. I could play Pictonico instead of scrolling through Twitter. But anyway, Pictonico, I can't really recommend it unless you really like WarioWare. I really like WarioWare, so it's fun for me. But if you have no affiliation for WarioWare, don't even bother pretending to download this one. Let's see. Next up is 007 First Light. This is a game I think I'm just under halfway through. I'm not a lifelong 007 James Bond fan, but my roommate and I, when we first met, we went to a 007 movie together, and we watch all the 007 movies together now. It's kind of like a thing for us. So we decided that we'd get this game and we'd play through it together, and she would watch like for the story, and I would play it. And I'm not playing it entirely with her, but I am playing through some of the bigger moments. I'll call her in, she'll watch the story moments, stuff like that. But 007 First Light is from IOI. These are the Hitman people. I have not played a Hitman game before, but I'm in this because I have a general interest in like 007 James Bond. So I guess this game has pros and cons for me. From a story perspective, from like a presentation perspective, it looks fantastic. It sounds great. It looks and sounds like a James Bond movie. The story is really well done. I'm like super intrigued for where it's going. It's already been doing twists and turns and like planting seeds for future, plot twists later on. And the acting is very good. The James Bond actor, I don't know his name, apologies, but he's done a very good job so far. It feels like a James Bond movie. So from that aspect, I'm really enjoying the game. What I'm not necessarily enjoying as much is the gameplay. And not because it's bad, but just because it's not really my kind of game. This is very much I don't like, I guess up front, I don't like stealth games. I've never liked stealth games. I'm really bad at them. I'm impatient. And this game has a lot of stealth, especially early on. A lot of the early levels will front load a lot of stealth. So when you get to a new set piece, I'm like, oh, this is a cool new level. And then I spend most of the time exploring, which is, I like exploring, I like finding things, stuff like that. I like that in video games. But then it'll often throw me into like a stealth section where I'm fine with stealth every now and then, like a stealth level in the game. So it's not gonna bother me that much. But it's like every level, like it makes sense. It is James Bond. You're a spy. You're doing stealthy things. It throws in a lot of stealth, and I'm just kind of like not looking for that kind of game. And I almost wish I could just do like I could just like simulate the stealth stuff for me. I could watch the story, what happens there, and then get into the action, the exploration, the stuff I do like. But that's not the game it is. So I'm like begrudgingly going through these stealth sections. It is fun. It does give you like the watch, and you can like mess with the enemies. You can shoot a laser at them to like blind them, or you can light things on fire to distract them. It's got like lots of good mechanics. You can tell that these people have made games like this with Hitman. It's just not my jam. The gunplay and the action is very hectic. Like oftentimes you have low ammo and you're kind of improvising, which is what the game wants you to do. It wants you to improvise. It wants you to feel like you're doing what you can with what little you've been given. So you have a handgun, you'll shoot your 8 shots, and you have no ammo left. So what do? You throw the handgun at the enemy, and you pick up their weapon, and so on and so forth. And I feel like when you get into the gunfights and the really close encounters, I'm like struggling to like figure out what to do. I'm literally just improvising on the fly, and I think it's what the game wants you to do. It's what they're aiming for. So while it feels hectic and like way too busy, I think that's the kind of feeling they want you to do, because it does feel good when you pull it off, when you do throw a weapon at somebody and knock them out and then pick up their gun and take out the other guy. It does feel really good and you feel really cool. It's just like I feel like I'm really bad at this game. I feel like I'm like constantly just screwing up and just making it work, which I'm getting through the game, so I think that's part of it. So I feel like I'm doing good enough. I do have some complaints about the melee. Not because the melee combat isn't good. I actually do think it's a fun system. It's your typical like punch, parry, counter. You can grab them. You can sidestep their grabs. The melee feels familiar but good. It feels really weighty when you do connect with the punch. Like it sounds. It has like that superhero sound, like that really loud thwack, and it feels like you're throwing a lot into the punch. Where I feel odd is I'm James Bond, like an MI6, basically MI6 superhero. And there's just like this dude in a bar and he wants to fight me, and I'm punching him. I am walloping this dude. I'm punching him in the face like no one's been punched in the face before. I'm grabbing his head and I'm throwing it into my knee, and I'm throwing him against the wall, and he's just taking a beating of a lifetime. I'm having to hit him like a dozen times, but then if I mess up and he gets a few hits on me, all of a sudden James Bond is going down. He can't take more than 3 punches in a 30-second window. So I feel like that feels a little odd. I get from like a video game perspective, they want, you're supposed to make less mistakes than they do. You're supposed to hit them more than they can hit you. I get that, but it feels weird when you're in the sense of like I'm fighting a random nobody in a bar as James Bond, and I'm like, I've kneed this dude in the face 4 times, and then he like connects with me a couple times. I'm like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I had one fight with a guy, and he grabbed me, and he kind of just threw me, and like he kind of like threw me into a barrel, and James like hit it, and then like fell to the ground and died. I'm like, okay, that looks, it just feels, it's kind of goofy. It makes sense in a video game perspective, but like in a James Bond being a badass perspective, it does feel a little odd. But yeah, 007 First Light, like I said, I think I'm almost halfway through. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really intrigued by the story side of it, and I'll keep pushing through the parts of the game that I don't like as much, like the stealth and stuff like that. Next up is I think it's the first game I beat this month, is Bubsy 4D. I put a review out for this game earlier this month. Bubsy 4D is made by the people who make, let's see if I get it right this time, Demon Tides, and I think Demon Turf is the previous one, or vice versa. Demon Tides and Demon Turf are both platformers by the same developer. I can't remember which one came out last year, but one of them came out last year, one came out several years ago. And now they're moving on to making Bubsy 4D. First thing about this game, it is an expressive platformer, one of those games where like you're given lots of tools, lots of ways to interact with the world, lots of things to get yourself out of situations to like make the platform more fun. So that's really good from that point. I guess the downsides of the game is it's very short, which for me isn't a problem so much these days. It is a budget priced game. It's a $20 release, so like the 3-hour runtime isn't as big of a deal for me. I guess the bigger downsides were it's like it does just kind of feel like you are platforming on like a series of obstacle courses, which, like I said, I have a pretty low bar myself, like me liking a game. The mechanics of this game feel really good, and I enjoyed moving Bubsy around and platforming through the levels. So like me just doing that through a bunch of floating platforms in the middle of space didn't bother me that much. But if you're looking for something a little bit more detailed and like brought together, you're not going to find that here. You basically are going from level to level. There's 15 levels. Every 5 levels you get to fight a boss. And each of these levels is basically like a platform, and then you jump to the next platform, jump to the next platform, and it's all like floating obstacle courses in space. There's a couple different like fun mechanics, like there's a spin dash move where you get in a ball and you roll real fast. Some of the levels have like pipes and like think of it like Mario 64 slides, and then like roads that are really hilly, and you get to use that spin dash, I think it's called hairball mode, and go really fast down that, and that is very fun. There are time trials if you like want to beat the dev times for each level. I did the first world, so the first 5 levels of that. I did not choose to do it for the second and third world just because it got a little more difficult. But if you want to get those dev times, you basically have to do the hairball mode. And what it does is you go super, super fast, but it's also really hard to control. So you have to really master the level, really learn the level, which is cool. If you want to replay the game, there's plenty to replay. There is a leaderboard. You can watch the best players' ghost times, and you can like learn how they got those times. So that's a really cool feature. I think the game, the bones of the game are really good. The leaderboards, the movement, there's collectibles in every level. All that's very good. I just think the level design is pretty basic. Not the worst, but just pretty basic. And the presentation, like it kind of looks like a old Saturday morning cartoon, or not old, like maybe like a Saturday morning cartoon from like when I was a kid. It's like early 2000s. Very vibrant, high contrast colors. So a lot going on. I do really like the music. The music has like a jazzy. The comparison I made in the video was like Sonic Adventure. Think of the Sonic Adventure soundtrack from GameCube or Dreamcast. It has songs that really sound like that. It feels like a 90s, early 2000s jazzy soundtrack, which I really liked. It did help, add to the presentation a little bit. But yeah, Bubsy 4D. If you're looking for just a fun, quick platform you can finish, $20. I think it's on Switch 1 and 2. I played it on PS5. It's on Steam. I'm sure it's on Xbox. Maybe, who knows. But yeah, go check out Bubsy 4D. It's a game you can beat in a day. So there you go. But the game I put the most time into, the game of my game of the month, the one I probably put upwards of 25 hours into this month, is Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. So fun thing, I love Legos. You can see a bunch of Legos in my frame right here. I have tons of Legos in this room. I've been building Legos since I can remember. I love Batman. I have tons of Batman stuff just outside this camera right here. I've loved Batman since I was a kid. But I've not played a lot of Lego games, and I've never played a Lego Batman game. My Lego video game experience is very limited, and I saw this game get announced, I don't know, whatever it was, sometime last year, and I was like, this seems like something I need to give a try. And turns out this game is basically the next Batman Arkham game. You know, Batman Arkham Asylum, City, Night, Origins, those games. This game plays like one of those. You do have a long like intro of the game. It's like a 90-minute story intro, very like teaching you the concept of like how the game works, and then through a linear level, setting up the story. But then after that, it puts you into Gotham City, and it's just an Arkham game. You're exploring, you're finding collectibles, you're doing Riddler puzzles, you are doing like time trial races around the island, the city. You are doing combat challenges. It has the Arkham combat where you basically fly around and punch people, and then when they have like a thing over their head, an identifier over their head, you can press triangle to go counter them. You have to jump over the enemies with the shields with the circle button. It is a Batman Arkham game, like through and through, but in a Lego lens, which is nice because it kind of brings back, like, I love the Arkham games. I played Asylum and City. I love both those games. I've played some of Night. I've enjoyed what I played, but what this game does is it's just like a much more palatable experience because it's just, the stakes are so much lower, or it feels lower because it's a Lego game. It's not as serious. It's constantly throwing in like stupid little jokes. There are references out the wazoo. This is a new Batman story, but it is done using like ingredients from all sorts of previous Batman games and movies. So it's not like a Christopher Nolan Batman game. It's not a Batman 2022 Matt Reeves Batman game. It's not a Tim Burton Batman game. What it is it has like a little bit from all these things going all the way back through Batman's history, constant references, constant Easter eggs, lots of like enemies show up, bad guys show up. If you can think of a Batman bad guy, probably shows up in this game or is at least referenced in this game. So I think that's been very cool. And it's using all these, like I said, and then creating a new story, a new like unknown path here for what's going on in Gotham City, but a very familiar one, even though you don't know exactly what's going to happen. Basically, you play as Batman, and you constantly have a sidekick with you. The first one you get is Jim Gordon, and Batman and all the sidekicks have special abilities that you can interact with things around Gotham. For example, Batman's got his Batarang, so you can hit targets with it, and he also has like a grapple hook, so you can pull things, rip things out of the wall. While Jim Gordon has like a foam gun for some reason. I guess that's his like police weapon, is a foam gun. So what he can do is, there are some puzzles where there'll be gears moving and it's moving an object, and then you can use the foam gun to stick those gears still, and then that object will stop moving, and you hit basically like move certain things, stop moving some other things. You get Catwoman also very early. Catwoman has a whip. She can also climb things, and she can like summon a cat to get into small spaces. And then you get other Batman sidekicks that you can probably guess if you are a fan of Batman at all. And they also have unique ways to interact with the world and unique ways to do these puzzles. For the most part, you'll be doing a lot of this for the Joker puzzles. If you're just like exploring the levels, exploring Gotham just to go to the next level, you don't really need any of these abilities because you'll just be gliding across or riding your Batmobile, whatever you're doing to get across Gotham. But if you're wanting to like get all the collectibles and do all the Joker's, the Riddler stuff, have I been saying Joker the whole time? If I've been saying Joker puzzle the whole time, I apologize. I mean Riddler. I meant Riddler challenges. Yeah, there's like tons of those around the world. If I have a critique about this game, I think there's maybe too many Riddler challenges, maybe too many collectibles. There's these like Wayne Tech chests around the world, and I think there's 200 of them. I think you could dial that back to 100 and we'd be just fine. There's 121 Riddler challenges. I think you could dial that back to 50 or 75 and we'd be just fine. It does feel like you're kind of padding out a little bit by adding all those collectibles, but I'm having a good time. Like I said, I'm like 25 hours in, and I'm really close to the end. I believe I'm in the last chapter of the game. I have gotten like 80+% completion for every single region of the map. It does have a very good like checklist of all the collectibles and how many you're missing in each area. So if you're worried about like being overwhelmed by the collectibles, it does a very good job of keeping track of that for you. But yeah, this is not only my game of the month, my favorite game of the May so far, favorite game of May so far. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight very well might be my game of the year so far. Once I finish it, I do believe I'm going to put it above Pragmata, and I do believe it'll go above Resident Evil 9 when it's all said and done. It is a Lego game, so it's pretty simple, pretty easy, child-friendly, but it's a very good Batman game, but lots of fun Batman references, and it's a fun Arkham game on top of that. It has worked for me more than I thought it would. I think it is my favorite game I played so far this year, where I'm at with it. Mina the Hollower might overtake that, because I am really enjoying that. 007 First Light, maybe that story blows my mind by the end of it, but I've played most of Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, so I feel pretty confident in like stating from what I played so far that it is my favorite game I played this year so far. So yeah, that's all the games I played that came out this month. Like I mentioned or didn't mention, I didn't get around to playing Forza yet. I do want to play Forza Horizon 6. I've heard incredible things. It's set in Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan, so just like even just getting to like kind of experience through osmosis and drive around would be very fun. I would like to get around to that. As far as games next month, I'm hoping I only play 2 games that come out next month, because I want to finish all these games I just mentioned here that I have not finished any of other than Bubsy. I should be able to finish all these games by the end of next month, because next month I'm only planning on playing Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, and Star Fox, like it's just called Star Fox. Adventures of Elliot is one of my most anticipated games for the year, so that's kind of like a drop everything and play game. It's Square Enix's HD 2D top-down Zelda. Then Star Fox, I've played Star Fox 64 before, so I know I'll be able to get through Star Fox pretty quickly, I believe. Both those games come out the later half of the month, so I'm hoping to spend the early half of the month finishing all these games I just mentioned today. I mentioned those are the only games I plan on playing now. It is June though, so that means we're going to get a State of Play, we're going to get Summer Games Fest, we're probably going to get a Nintendo Direct. There could be, by the end of next month, a month from now, there could be a whole onslaught of random games I didn't know were going to exist that I've put aside all my previous priorities and made a bad decision and bought more games to play through. So we'll see how that goes. Right now I'm only planning on playing 2 June games, so we'll see how that goes. As far as non-May games that I played this month, I did get around to finishing Mouse PI. I believe I talked about that in the April video. Overall, I thought the game was very fun. By the end of it, I think I was like kind of souring on it in the end, because I feel like it's a little bit too long of a game. The presentation is really neat at the beginning, and it's pretty neat for a while, but then after playing like 20 something hours of like a black and white game with the same animated enemies, which are very well animated, but they're very similar enemies throughout the whole game, it kind of does get old. The gameplay was king in that game. The movement is very fast. The gunplay was really good. So that was all great. I was just kind of getting tired of the presentation, and by the end, I was starting to wear on me a little bit. I still think it was a very good game and pretty well priced, all things considered, for how long it was. I was not expecting Mouse PI to take me like 20 hours, but it did. So good for them. I played Mario Baseball on the GameCube with some friends of mine that visited. We all love Mario Baseball. We had a blast playing some multiplayer for that for a weekend. And the only real comment I wanted to say was Mario Baseball on the GameCube, it was called Mario Superstar Baseball. Just make a new Mario Baseball. Mario Baseball on the Switch 2. I would love that so much. I like the one on the Wii, it's fun, but the one on the GameCube's a classic. If they could just make another Mario Baseball like the one on the GameCube, I would give Nintendo all the money in the world, which I already do, but I'd give them even more money in the world if they would just give me another Mario Baseball. And then the last non-May 2026 game I played this month was Half-Life. Over on Craig's channel, on Generations Behind, our bi-weekly retro games podcast, this last episode we did Half-Life 1. I've never played the game before, and we played through, I think all of us, it was all of our first time playing the game, and we're just doing like a fresh take on our experience with the game. So right up front, I'll say I did not finish the game. I played through maybe half of it. I thought it was, to keep things high level, I thought it was a very ambitious thing for something that came out in 1998. The fact that the physics just kind of like works, like you have a crowbar, you break things, you break through glass, you can go through that window, you can move stuff around, everything's free flowing. There's no cutscenes. The cutscenes just happen naturally. When you walk up to a person, they start talking. It's a very impressive game. I found myself getting a little frustrated with like getting lost in the levels, but really frustrated with like, I feel like the game was trolling me a lot. I feel like I was dying to a lot of stupid stuff, and I was just kind of getting impatient. And I just, ultimately I was like, okay, I get it. I already know what happens in the game because I've seen my friend Christian, Bird Dog Gaming. I've seen him stream the game, so I know like where it goes in the second half of the game. I've seen all that. But I want to get that experience of me playing it myself and just feeling how it feels. It feels a little more slippery than I expected. You really move around quick and you like slide around corners. The gunplay feels kind of weird. So yeah, it's like a really ambitious game, but not something that I felt like I needed to sit down and play another 5 hours of. I would like to try Half-Life 2 one day, because by all accounts that game is like, Half-Life 1 is like a nostalgic, impressive thing of its time. It's like a foundation for those kinds of games. And then Half-Life 2, I've heard, holds up much better and is just like an all-timer shooter. So I would like to get around to playing Half-Life 2, especially if Half-Life 3, all these rumors, people keep talking about Half-Life 3 existing. If that does come to fruition, I'll play Half-Life 2, and then maybe I'll play Half-Life 3. But yeah, that's all the games I played this month. A little bit longer of a video because there was so many freaking May games this month. It was a crazy month for games. But I had a good time. Like I said, when it's all said and done, Mina, Bubsy, and 007 First Light, those could all be top 10 for the year for me. And that's all in just 1 month. So it was a crazy month for games, and we're not even halfway done with the year yet. And it's just like last year, the games keep coming. Games are great right now. It feels like we're getting fantastic new releases every month. It's hard to keep up, but I'm doing my damn best. But that's all I got for today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.